Well, it's an end of a year, and it's also an end to all those crappy movies that I've watched during the year. So yeah, it's time to count up the 10 worst movies that I've watched during 2015. And like I said with my previous video, in my top 10 best movies I watched, it's just basically not the specific movies that I watched just that was released in 2015. It's just like movies that I watched during the whole year, which I hated the most. So yeah, I'm just gonna open an energy drink just to stay alive, because these movies are absolutely terrible. Yeah, we are going to begin with Deadly Embrace with Linnea Quigley up there. It was so boring, and I think it was directed by David Decato, who has done a lot of crappy movies, but this is one of the worst movies that I've ever seen that he's directed. I mean, it has some interesting bits, but for the most part it's just a dull, very very dull movie, and nothing happens in the whole movie basically. So yeah, Deadly Embrace at number 10. Let's see here, and then we have at number 9 we have a movie which I don't really have. Well, I have it in my collection, but I'm just too lazy to put it up from the shelf because it's part of a box set, and the movie is Men Behind the Sun 4, the Nanking Massacre, or the Massacre of Nanking, whatever it was called. Now, I think I said this wrong. I did not mean Men Behind the Sun 4, I meant Men Behind the Sun 3. A Narrow Escape, it's called. We basically see the whole movie basically take place on a train with like refugees or soldiers or whatever, and they're talking bullshit for like almost the whole movie. And when you are waiting for some violence or some action, it just leaves you disappointed, and yeah, it's just a lifeless movie. Nothing happens. They're just talking bullshit, talk all the time. Has some flashbacks, but that doesn't save it from being a really bad movie. So yeah, Men Behind the Sun 3, A Narrow Escape. And at number 8 we have a movie which I don't even have on DVD, which I'm very glad for. I don't really know where I watched it. I think it was on YouTube or something. I was just interested in it, and the movie is Gladiator Cop. Now, when I heard about the plot of this movie, I was really interested in hearing what it was all about, because it was apparently a fighting movie, like fight to the death type of movie, when you're like two people going into a ring with different weapons and stuff, and it sounds really awesome. But it was really bad. The acting was absolutely terrible, and it has to be one of the worst fighting movies I've seen in a long, long time. And this was one of the first movies I watched during this year, so yeah, it was not really a good start there. But yeah, Gladiator Cop at number 8. And at number 7 is another movie which I don't have on DVD, because it's apparently impossible to get a hand of, at least an official release of it. It goes for ridiculous money online everywhere I look. But the movie is Begotten by Edmund Meringer. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, but I was expecting a really interesting movie, because I heard it was supposed to be very disturbing and violent and stuff, and it was just boring. I mean, the soundtrack basically was crickets from the nature during the whole movie, and it was black and white. I mean, I don't have anything wrong with it. It is black and white, but you could barely see what was going on, and yeah, like the soundtrack was barely any soundtrack. It was just noises from the nature all the time, and I couldn't find any plot or anything whatsoever. I didn't understand anything about it. It just left me disappointed, and I was just bored. I almost fall asleep all the time when I was trying to watch it. But yeah, Begotten at number 7. And at number 6 is a movie which I was very disappointed on, because I looked it up on the IMDb page, and apparently it had like a very very big budget, and somehow they screwed it up, and the movie is Fear.com with Udo Kier, and it also has Steven Dorff in it. Man, this was a huge disappointment. It was so boring. I can barely remember anything from it. Maybe I shouldn't put it on the list if I didn't remember of it, but it was so bad I didn't remember barely anything about it. So yeah, Fear.com at number 6. And at number 5 we have a movie which was part of a double pack. And the reason why I picked up this double pack was basically because of the other movie on this double pack. But yeah, the movie is Flesh of the Beast. Really boring plot, really awful special effects. Okay, there were some special effects which were acceptable, but the acting in it was absolutely terrible. It was probably the worst thing about the whole movie. And the plot, it felt like they didn't really know what they were doing and what they wanted to accomplish. So yeah, Flesh for the Beast at number 5. And at number 4 we have a Japanese movie, surprisingly, called Guts of a Beauty. It was more like a porn movie than anything else. I thought it was going to be an extreme violent, like, Japanese movie. It was violent at parts, but it was basically just rape, and nudity, and barely had any plot whatsoever. It was just about rape, and it didn't really have any other plot than that. So yeah, just a terrible movie. I don't recommend anyone to watch this if you don't like disturbing porn or whatever. But yeah, Guts of a Beauty at number 4. Now I need to speed up a little bit, I guess. And at number 3 we have, I mean, when I picked this one up, I thought I was going to in for a really cool movie, a really good ride, because of the name of this movie is just great. One of the greatest horror names, or like horror titles of all time in my opinion, but the movie itself was just terrible. And it is a remake. I didn't realize that it was a remake before I bought it, but The Wizard of Gore. With a title like that, you're expecting it to be really good, but man, this movie. I mean, it has it still has a cool cast. I mean, it has Crispin Glover and Brad Dourif and Jeffrey Combs in it. And like, what the hell are these actors doing in this piece of garbage? Yeah, The Wizard of Gore remake, absolutely terrible. Do not watch it. I hated it, but yeah, it's just my opinion. So yeah. And then we have at number 2 a movie directed by Ulai Lommel, and the movie is Samba Nation. Damn. This movie was another movie which didn't really know what they were doing. I watched it with my friend, and both of us almost fell asleep, and they were like constantly changing their soundtrack all the time. One time for the first second it's like pop music or disco music, and then there is metal music, and then there's pop again, and they were like jumping back and forth. I mean, if you're doing a horror movie, pick one type of music that you're using to, I mean, you don't need to change it all the goddamn time. It just gets so annoying. The actors were terrible, and the whole Samba Nation idea was just terrible. And I mean, maybe the idea wasn't terrible, but it was executed in such a bad way. And this also has a very bad rating on the movie database. I don't think it has more than 2.2 on the movie database or something. But yeah, Samba Nation at number 2. One of the worst movies I've seen this year, for sure. And I really thought that Samba Nation was going to be the movie I hated the most this year. But I did watch a movie at TV. I'm just so glad I don't have it on DVD. And the movie is The Bling Ring, directed by Sofia Coppola. The reason why I even attempted to watch this movie was basically because of Emma Watson, because I know she's a great actress. I mean, she has shown that in the Harry Potter movies, But this was just, she was just a bitch in this, and everyone was bitches in this, because they were like, oh, I got money here and money there, we're stealing that, and we're having parties and getting drunk with my friends and looking at my phone all the time. Oh, it just reminds me of the society today, and I just got so pissed off while watching it. So yeah, the bling ring at number 1, the worst move I've seen during the whole year, for sure. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and didn't get bored, and yeah, happy new year, and see you next time. Bye bye.